It's been a pretty long time since we decided to review something, and now is the perfect time to fix that because we are going to be talking about the Netflix live action Avatar. Now, this is a show that I have been following ever since it first got announced, mainly because it is really confusing to me for multiple reasons. One, I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to make another live action Avatar, because I think we all know how the first movie went. It is something so bad that a lot of people use it as an example for one of the worst movies ever made. And two, I don't know why Netflix keeps on trying to make live action TV shows because it just never works. Every single time when they try to make a live action anime or even try to turn a cartoon into live action, it always fails. And I'm not one of those people who think it's impossible to do something like that. I think if you have the right team, you can turn any form of media and adapt it into something else. But Netflix clearly does not have the talent to do that, so I don't know why they keep on trying. Because every single time when they do, they rather make one, something terrible, or two, something so mid, it's basically just bad. Because no one wants to make a mediocre, boring TV show. But let me actually start talking about it. Now, to give you the speedrun answer, is the live action Avatar good? No. I think it is really bad. But before I go into the negatives, let me talk about the positive, and there's really only one, and that is, this show looks really good, which isn't really something surprising, even though most of the time when Netflix tried to make a live action anything, it's usually really bad. The one thing that they're really good at is adapting the world into real life. Every single time when they go to a brand new nation, I'm always surprised just how well they're able to adapt it. All the outfits look really good, especially when they go to the Earth Kingdom. I think that's probably the best location in the whole TV show, and also the bending looks really nice, even though I think the fights are terrible. When they're walking around and throwing water, throwing fire at people, it looks really good. And another thing that I like is that they're actually able to show how dangerous bending could be, especially fire bending. I think it's really cool that sometimes when they are fighting someone, some people just get burned alive, and you get to see that. Now let me talk about the negatives about the show, which is basically everything else. So my biggest problem with this whole thing easily has to be the pacing. This is something that I did not see a lot of people bring up, so I don't know if it's just me, but this show moves really fast and also extremely slow at the same time. What it feels like they did is that they read the Avatar Wikipedia and just based the show off that, because there are just so much important parts that they skip, and I think this is easily shown by episode 1, because at the beginning of the episode, we meet the Avatar and we meet the whole group, and then at the ending of the episode, the show tries to act like these people have been best friends, and in this journey that happened in like a couple hours, they grow like this amazing relationship, and it just makes no sense. And the more you watch the show, the worse it becomes. It was something that was so bad that when I was around like episode 3, I was actually wondering, does the original Avatar have pacing this badly? Like, I was getting scared. So I actually stopped watching the live action, went back and started watching some of the original, and no, in the original cartoon, the pacing is actually really good, and the show doesn't feel like they're trying to speed run to the end like what the live action is doing. It obviously shows that 8 episodes is not enough, and they needed to get some more. Maybe like 12 episodes, I don't know, maybe they need better writers. They needed to do something, because the pacing of the show is horrible. And another thing that I have a problem with easily have to be all of the characters. Since the pacing is so bad and they're speed running through the show, none of the characters doesn't feel like they go through any development, and they also have zero chemistry at all. Like the main group, it doesn't really feel like Aang becomes friends with anyone. It feels like he's just talking at them and he's just reading a script, and then everyone else around is just doing the same thing. And it also doesn't help that a lot of the acting is is extremely bad. In the whole show, I think there are only 3 characters who are actually acted really well, and that is Aang. I think the person who plays him does an amazing job, and I think he's one of the best performers in the show. Zuko and Uncle Iroh. Those 3 are the only people who feel like they're actually trying. Everyone else is just clearly reading off a script because they talk like they're in a Darman video. They go like, "Oh man, the Fire Nation isn't really that good. Look, they're attacking the town. Aang, I really think we should do something to stop them." It's this extremely monotone, and it feels like I'm playing Alan Wake or something. And another thing that I have a problem with easily has to be the fights. I heard a lot of people out there complimenting them is saying that, oh, they're actually really good and entertaining. But that's also not true. The fights look extremely good. They are visually really nice to see. But most of the time, it is just extremely boring at all. Go back and watch a fight in the original TV show. It is amazing. Filled to the brim with life, it looks good to see. But the fights in the live action is just extremely dead, and it really pisses me off because it easily could be good if they just use less slow-mo, because for some reason all of the fights are filmed like it's a early 2000 action film, where you have to use slow-mo 24/7, like Aang will do an air jump and we have to see him jump through a rock in slow motion. Look how cool he is. Or Zuko throws a fireball and then we also need to see that in slow motion, and it's just extremely corny. And you wanna know what's crazy? Every single time when there's a fight and they're not abusing slow motion, it actually looks really cool. Wow, who would have saw that coming? Who would have thought that if you actually just let the actors, fight and perform without spamming slow motion, it will actually look really cool? I know, extremely shocking. Either way, this is just an extremely mid TV show. I have absolutely no idea why this exists because it just doesn't really do anything at all. I don't know why it's here because the original is just better. If you're interested in the Avatar story, I really recommend you go and watch the original anime because this is kinda in that weird middle ground where it's not for anyone. I don't think someone will watch this and they will want to get into Avatar. I'm pretty sure if you're a new fan and this is your first experience, you're gonna think this show is extremely lame and boring, and you're gonna be confused why everyone is so into it. And if you are a fan of the original and you watch this, you are just absolutely going to hate it. So why does it exist? Anyway, that's it. I'm finished yapping. This show's extremely bad, and if I had to rate it 1 through 10, I'd probably give it like a 4. Anyway, that's it. My name is Lua. You have a good day or night. See ya.